Good afternoon. I'm Alicia Wilson, Vice President for Economic Development for Johns Hopkins University and Johns Hopkins Health System. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to this week's edition of Entrepreneurship Matters. This is a nail biting, no, maybe not nail biting, but at least all about nails today. And we have two amazing entrepreneurs that I'm going to invite to the screen, London Ward and Kendra Woolridge. Come on the screen. Let me set us up. We know that successful businesses, successful entrepreneurs are not built in a day. It takes a lot of grit, a long-term commitment, multiple failures to make it happen. And these two entrepreneurs are no different. They are superstars. So I feel like I get to see two of the best in the industry, and I get to interview them here today. Let me give you their bios. We started this over a year ago at the urging of another entrepreneur, Camry Moses, who's now a freshman at Spelman College, but it has been a pleasure to interview entrepreneurs, and these two women are no different. Let me give you their bios, which are impressive. First, let me start with London Ward. She is the founder and CEO of Snob Nails. She is a woman who is quickly making a name for herself in the nail industry. Her company is a nail salon and nail technician school, producing quality couture nails and educated skilled techs. Backed by the DC and Maryland Board of Cosmetology, Snob Nails' mission, listen to this, is to produce young Black entrepreneurs and to create an impact on the positive side of the beauty industry through educated, skillful nail practitioners. She started Snob Nails, we're going to get into this, with no loans, no handouts, and $6,500 of her saved salary from being a nurse. While serving as a nurse, London sparked an interest in creating residual income due to being a mother of a child with special needs. They grew into a passion for doing nails. In 2020, June, during COVID, she made history opening up currently what is the sole and only Black-owned nail technician school in the DMV area. Huge kudos to you. By November 2020, her school became a Maryland WIOA partner, being able to offer free tuition to all Maryland residents leaving zero school costs at them. Since opening, her school has had a 100% pass rate for state boards and is quickly becoming noted, listen to this, the Harvard of nail tech schools. Harvard, I need to go to Harvard. It's located in Temple Hill, Maryland, on the lower level of the historic mall known as the Iverson Mall. Welcome, London.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Next, I want to introduce and present to some of you Kendra Woolridge, the owner and CEO of Janet & Co., which is a luxury nail lacquer company that was founded on a mission to educate and inspire through nail lacquers and their stories behind their name. With lacquer names such as Change Agent and Courage, I need to get both of those. It is no surprise why Janet & Co. has become an inspirational clean beauty brand, both here and abroad. She has been featured and applauded. Let me tell you all these places: Sally Hansen, Allure, Cosmopolitan, Vogue, Who Wear Work, UK, Refinery 29, Bustle, People, Elle, Harper's Bazaar, and more. She's become one of the best nail polish in Self magazine in 2021 after an extensive 2-month vetting process. Before founding Janet & Co., she worked in development finance for 7 years, managing a portfolio of international products valued at over $19 billion with a B dollars. She's a proud graduate of the Morgan State University, where she credits her entrepreneurial skills coming from, where she obtained her Bachelor's of Science in Finance. And she also holds a Master's in Public Administration from the University of Baltimore. Welcome, Kendra, today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yes. So let's get started with the conversation. Let me jump into what inspired both of you to become entrepreneurs. I'll start with you, London. What inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
The freedom to be able to do what I really wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. My youngest daughter, she was born with special needs, and my child's father also suffered traumatic brain injury within the same 9 months of each other. So I was just looking for a way to still be able to be a parent at my best ability, but still make money comparable to what I was making as a nurse. And I said, I'm becoming an entrepreneur. Bump it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. How about you, Kendra? What inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneurship was something I've always had a hand in. I was always hustling or doing something on the side outside of work. When I was in college, I did hair all the time just to get extra cash. So when it came to starting my business, this was just something I really, really wanted to create because I love nail polish.
Mhm.
And I always said, well, I'll just have my own company. I want to start my own company. So it was something I always wanted to do as far as entrepreneurship, and I was always doing. I just never put a label on it. And then I finally just made the leap and I created Janet and Joe.
Okay, we're going to get into like you liking nail polish and then you saying, I'm going to create nail polish. Don't worry, you're not going to leave that for us. We're going to get right into that. But London, tell me, let me ask you this. So how did you go from an idea, a passion into building a business? So we know we have many entrepreneurs watching today, many folks wanting to think about starting a business. So how did you go from an idea to actually starting your own business?
It's actually quite a funny story, right? So I was at my wits' end of wanting to just say, I gotta be there as mom. Like, my daughter, that's my main concern. And so what I did was make a list. It was 33 things that was on a list of all the different rounds of what I was creative in and what I could do. And I said, whatever is number 22 on the list, that's what I'm going to go with, because 22 is my favorite number. So nail salon was 22 on the list. And mind you, I knew nothing about nails, didn't get my nails done. It was totally just from a money standpoint of saying, okay, I can hire people to work there and I'll make money, from the shop. So I wasn't thinking about what it really took, right? I was oblivious to it all, but I said, whatever, it is what it is. So I say 22, nail salon. I thought it would be the easiest and cheapest to do, which is a lie. Okay. But, at the time I was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And I knew I had 2 more paychecks coming from me being a nurse. And then I knew I was getting my taxes back as well. And so I had went to my sister and I told her, I said, hey, I think I'm going to start this nail salon. I called my dad, told my mom, and everybody's so used to me like starting, stopping. So they was like, okay, whatever. This will be another, phase in her life. But what gave me like the passion behind it was once I opened up my salon and I saw the entrepreneur standpoint of it, how I could teach women. I come from an entrepreneur family. My mom and dad started the first Black-owned life insurance company. And so I come from an entrepreneur family, and I'm like, okay, it gotta be some way that I can reinvent this wheel. I don't know what it is, but I see the money that's being made. And from the money that's being made, if I could teach people how to do it legitimately, why not? And so that's what sparked my interest in education. So even though like I self-taught myself how to do nails, I went to cosmetology school, I learned all those things, I became licensed. It was from me learning that, okay, in order to run a business, you have to be licensed. In order to, do these things, but I had no idea. So when I first started out, I basically started, learning as I'm going. So I'm illegally operating, not knowing, all of these things. But then I learned, okay, go to school, get your license, get your UNO, all of these things. And then from that standpoint, I'm like, all right, I like this. This is fun. But I had so many people asking, would I be willing to teach? Am I willing to teach? Will you teach me how to do nails? And in my head, I'm like, I barely know what I'm doing. But okay, so
I love what you said, because I think it was so real that you said you were operating illegally. You were trying to learn as you went along. You were trying to gain the knowledge. And it was through that experience that you realized there was a niche in the market to teach others how to do it right. I think beautifully how you talk about starting business through your lived experiences. Beautiful. And I think encouraging for so many watching. Kendra, how about you? How did you go and start your business?
Similar to London, I had no idea what to do or even what I was doing, because the business I was starting was not any remotely, related to my experience. I have a financial background. So it started first with education for me. I got on Google and I just got caught up in so much Google rabbit holes, but it was, okay, well, what do I need to start a business, especially in polish? So I started researching manufacturers, ingredients, then FDA regulations, which I learned a lot. It really opened up my eyes. And it's weird now, because now when I go to stores and I'm shopping, I'm always looking at it through a different lens and I'm paying attention to labeling and packaging. but even my business plan, I had done them in school because I was a business major. So I knew how to do a business plan, but not really for this. It's different when it's just a homework assignment versus, okay, this is something I really want to do. It's in this industry, which is cosmetics and beauty. So then I had to have my marketing plan and whatnot. So it was a lot of research, and I reached out to mentors that old colleagues from work just to look at my business plan and get feedback to make sure I was really answering the right questions. So when I go to look for funding, I'm answering the questions that investors are looking for. It's really a learning experience. I don't think there is a true pathway or directions to get to where you're going. You learn as you go, you grow as you go. And just like London, I mean, even when it comes to doing things properly, when it came to taxes and even paying quarterly taxes, once I had my business off the ground, I had no idea I needed to pay quarterly sales tax. So I had to go back and then pay that because I was behind. But when you're starting a business, my best piece of advice is to do research, specifically on your industry, what's needed to get to where you want to be, and then reach out to other business owners, entrepreneurs, or even managers within certain industries, because they can provide you that guidance and experience that you'll need.
No, I think you just, said so many great things about one. Also, thanks for being so transparent about your journey and, and how
It's
you
a
got
learning
to this.
experience.
Yeah, no. And it takes a lot of grit, a lot of long-term commitment to make it happen. Just like I said as we began, but I love how you pointed out the need for mentorship. So I want to go there and the need for guides, both of you. So how have mentors played a role in your entrepreneurship journey? And what tips do you give to others as they are embarking upon theirs about mentorship? And Kendra, I'll start with you and then London.
So my tip for a mentorship is, we often think that a mentor has to be, we think older and wiser and really experienced, but your mentor can also be a peer of yours. There was actually a young woman that I went to college with, and she had a lipstick company. And she was a big mentor to me because she was where I wanted to be. She had a company in the cosmetics industry. So I contacted her for advice, and she was so helpful, just even when it comes to even thinking about marketing and utilizing your social media. And then other mentors I found were just people who, one was an entrepreneur and another one was actually just, they had a supervisory role within their organization. But I was looking ahead at the bigger picture, and I knew that I wanted to grow Janet and Joe, and it wouldn't be just me. So I wanted to be mindful to get advice as far as how to be a good leader, because I've been an employee my entire life. And when I was doing hair, it was just me. I wasn't thinking about a business or growing one. So I got advice on growing my business and, how to give direction and make it so that people are comfortable coming to me with questions when they're working with you and not afraid to approach you. You want to remain approachable and also teachable. And another piece of advice I would have when seeking a mentor, they are key, because especially if you're pursuing your passion like I am, I'm very emotionally invested in things. So sometimes my judgment is blurred, and this is business at the end of the day. So you want to make sure that you're making sound decisions and you're not, blinded by your emotions. So that's very helpful for me as well, because they can really help steer me in the right direction.
No, I think you give, really the perspective. And the package that the mentor might come in might not be older, and what you might think of as wiser. I think really, really great gems. How about you, London? How is?
Ironically, I got a total different view. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So I would definitely say, starting out, I had no one to go to, no one to look to, which is why I think I'm so open and free with information, because I don't have that crab in a barrel mentality. The area that we come from, it's very dog eat dog. Oh, if I know something, let me not tell you. And I wasn't raised that way. And growing and knowing so much, to me, I don't feel like every little thing needs to be charged for. I will say that now where I'm at in the industry or in my career level, I would definitely say, you understand why people hold on to certain things and why they make you pay for certain stuff. But my goal, I really want to see everyone win. So if I want to see you win, me telling you the same thing, showing you the same thing, is not going to take away from what I've built and what I have. And a lot of people think that, which is why I believe finding mentorship is really hard. Me, honestly, it was just following people on social media that I felt like was doing it, you know, just like, oh yeah, like this is a woman boss and I don't know her and I don't know how she doing it, but however she make her page look, my page gonna look that way. Whatever marketing thing she got going on, I'm figuring out how to do it, you know? So it was just a lot of me saying, London, buckle down, figure it out, do a lot of behind the scenes, Google use being my best friend, you know? Now, a lot of people always ask me or they tell me, you know, like, oh, you're my IG mom or you're like my mentor, all these things, right? And in my head, I'd be like, but I swear, y'all, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. You know?
No, I love what you're saying, because there's so many people who say to me, I didn't have a mentor. And I always say, are you a mentor? Because it's in that void that you should become what you need in the world, right?
Exactly.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Whatever's for you is going to be for you. So you are, I mean, you can't, I can give you everything I have and you still won't get what I have.
Yeah.
Because it's a different journey, different gifts. So beautifully said it. And I think for many people on here wondering like how to get a mentor in the industry. Yeah, you look at somebody else's page, they doing it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get like that. That's great. That's great. Let me tell people, I see so many of you participating in the conversation. Continue, please. You can also text JHUWL to 22 and type to 22333. So type 22333 and then type JHUWL in the message, and I'll get all your questions and weave them into the conversation. So let me get to this question, because I mentioned it in your bio, this question about capital. In London, I heard you didn't get a loan. Nobody gave $6,500 in savings and you launched your business. Kendra, we're going to hear your story of capital raise, but how have you, I know that's how you started, but how have you continued? Did you at some point get a loan?
I am still 100% self-funded. No, still 100%
self-funded. Wow. How about you, Kendra? It's the same?
No, well, so my story is different. London, I applaud you, because
Thank you.
I don't think people realize how hard it is not only to launch a business, but to sustain a business.
Yes.
So the fact that you are self-funded, debt-free, that's amazing. I was keen on not taking out debt when I was starting Janet and Joe, because I had so many student loans and I was like, I don't need no more debt. So I was bootstrapping. It was all saving my paychecks, putting that into everything from just my research and development to launching the company. And this was 6 months before I launched the company. The DC Department of Small and Local Business Development have what's called the Dream Grant, which are grants that they offer to businesses in communities or wards in DC that are often ignored. And so I applied and I got a grant of $6,500. And that was just what I needed to really push me over the edge, because I was struggling right before the launch. So that really helped. I had that grant, and grants are amazing because of course you don't have to pay it back. There's no interest. I don't have to pay it back. There's no debt. So that was amazing. Then in fall of last year, there is an amazing organization called Black Girl Ventures, and they offer.
Yes.
I love Black Girl Ventures. They changed my life. Girl Ventures. I love them. And if you're not familiar, you should become familiar. I would go to their website, Black Girl Ventures. I want to say it's .com, but don't quote me on that. Google it. But Black Girl Ventures, they have
the team put it in the chat so everybody knows.
Please
about
do.
It.
Because, and I'll touch upon why it's not even the monetary aspect of it that make them so amazing, but Black Girl Ventures, they have pitch competitions, which are a little different because they're a crowdfund style pitch competition. So you go, you pitch your business or product or service, and the audience votes for you in dollars. And that's how you raise capital for your business. But you're not, again, there's no debt. So it was a great opportunity. I did that last fall, and because of COVID, it was a virtual pitch competition. So it was like this on Zoom. And when I say I was super nervous and I regretted it up until the moment I did it, because I'm very shy. And so I was like, what am I doing? And I'm exposing myself. And I did the pitch competition, and the saying great things like right outside of comfort zones, it rang true, because someone saw the pitch and I had an anonymous donation of $100,000 to my company. And
Wow.
that's game changing because I mean, that's a lot of money, one, but then it's debt free on top of that.
Yeah.
So that really helped. That was just the infusion of capital that I really needed to scale, to do a lot of things that I couldn't do that are like just dreams on my to-do list, but it's attainable now, right? It's possible. So that's been my journey. But I would strongly emphasize not just Black Girl Ventures, but any opportunity, a grant, pitch competition, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And
Yeah.
with Black Girl Ventures, it's been amazing because even if I didn't win anything, just the mentorship, the community that you have of fellow entrepreneurs, because my peers, many of them, they have jobs, they're not entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
right? So they don't understand the struggles I face, or even when it comes to being a product-based business, because I do have a friend, he does construction. So it's a different type of service and business as somebody that does consumer packaged goods. So being able to speak with other entrepreneurs that do consumer packaged goods, you just get so much help and resources. So it's really invaluable. I recommend everybody that is eligible, please do apply for that.
Shelly Bell is like singing. She's probably smiling somewhere. Shelly Bell is a dear friend, but she is also the
Angel.
the founder of Black Girl Ventures, amazing program. We also want to plug 10KSB, so 10,000 small business. Make sure both of you get enrolled as well. Yeah, don't worry. Goldman Sachs, 10,000 small business. We're gonna make sure you get more information, get involved in that as well. So let me ask you both this, which is a question that's come up. Like, how did you build your client base? London, you talked about like you looked at the folks who killing it on Instagram, but how did you market? How did you think about marketing your business? And then Kendra, I'm gonna go to you. How did you you have the following for the lacquer. So how did you think about marketing? But London, how'd you do that?
Authentically, I think I had to stay true to myself. I am from the hood. I grew up in the hood. I am 80 babies, but my mama didn't do crack, you know? And so I wanted to market so that when girls and guys saw what it was that I was doing, it was relatable. And so my slogan is, I move ounces properly, and I teach you how to make $2,000 or more a week moving ounces legally. And so normally that they was like, what are you doing? You know, because of course, when you deal with acrylic, it's measured out in ounces and stuff. And so I think because I kind of, you know, use like the drug trade, if that's fair to say, and, you know, it was more appealing to others versus being like, hi, I'm this wholesome lady. And this is just, you know, the route that I want to go. My age range and the target market of what I was going after was single moms, bartenders, you know, changing the game with strippers and drug dealers, just letting them see, because I teach men as well. So I'm not just focused on, you know, Black women. I'm focused on Black men and just the upbringing of changing entrepreneurship to make, you know, good money. Honestly, I think when I first started, let me see, 5 years in the game, and it was not a lot of Black nail techs out there, and they're way more now because social media has made them, you know, see that entrepreneurship is actually true, or made more people want to put their foot in the door of it. And so mine was just doing nails and posting them on my page, and basically building a buzz around the artwork that I was doing, the bling that I was doing, and how good it looked. And so then I opened up my books about maybe 2.5, 3 months later, because at first I was just doing the nails and posting them and saying I wasn't taking nobody because I was too scared. I was like, I don't want nobody out here messing up nobody's nails. But everybody just kept, you know, waiting and waiting and waiting. And so I opened up my books, and that first week I had 25 people on my books, and I just started rolling ever since. So word of mouth, and then I always do like different campaigns and things like that, and just stay relatable. But I always make sure that my page is clean, it's cohesive, and it makes sense. Another thing is, people focus a lot more on social media, but don't think about street team marketing. Don't think about being your own walking advertisement, because as a nail tech, your nails should always be done. And when someone sees them, you should be able to see you were the person that did your nails, you know? So that is a way to bring people in. I teach my students a lot about marketing, because I don't want them to be so focused on social media. Social media is where a lot of my money comes from, yes, but if social media died today, I still believe Snob Nails would be a household name.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think your point around harnessing social media, but not being so dependent on it, you have to build your brand, because you're right. All these things can go away tomorrow, but the longevity. How about you, Kendra? How do you think about your, building your marketing, your business, marketing your brand?
London touched upon a lot of things that hit home because I'm not big on social media. I'm not. I'm not a fan of it. I'm old fashioned and I'm very much into, interpersonal interactions and genuine relationships. And when London said it's key to be true to yourself, that is so, so true. You have to be true to yourself. My customer is really me, to be honest with you. I think my company and our brand story appeals to them because we relate. And when you're true and you're not trying to really present yourself as how you think someone or the world should have you be, but really just who you are, people appreciate that and they become more interested and they dig into your company. And that's how you get really a loyal following. Even though we have a social media page and we post, again, I'm old fashioned. When we got started, we did a trade show. We hit the ground running. We did beauty expos and trade shows. I wanted to interact with beauty enthusiasts. I wanted to interact with those who do the makeup and nails behind the scenes. We did the District of Fashion show. We sponsored the nails there because I wanted to interact with those in the beauty industry. So I would say definitely build a social media following. That's important because a lot of people are on there, but also don't neglect building real relationships and interpersonal ones, going out to networking events. I went to DC Chamber of Commerce events, just really getting involved in the community and being your authentic self.
Yeah, no, I think both of you just make such good points. And I hope the entrepreneurs watching are taking notes. I hope, because I've been taking notes, my gems from my paper. But moving from the transaction to the relationship, critically important. Because that's what keeps people sticky to your brand, right? You think about Kendra in London. I think about hand to hand. I remember you were at this show, you hustling. It is so attractive to see entrepreneurs building their business. And I think that's why Entrepreneurship Matters. We love talking with entrepreneurs because you get to see you building your business, the behind the brand. So I think beautifully said from you, both of you. So this is a question that's come up a couple different times, which is you get 24 hours like we all do, but y'all are doing 48 hours worth of work. So how do you manage your time, your energy, your boundaries as an entrepreneur? How do you make it all I call it harmonize as an entrepreneur? So how are you doing that, London?
Honestly, entrepreneurship, like I said, I got into it to be the best mom that I could be for my kids. So I put my kids first and everything else under it. I give myself a schedule of where I hustle down and I work. When I was doing nails, it was more of I would work straight through, and then my kids would know 1 week out of the month I was mom, and I, would vacation with them, take them wherever they wanted to do. Now opening my school, because I am the sole teacher there most of the time. This is the most structure I've had to have in my career as a nail tech. And I think it's allowing me to see that I am and can be very more professional than the way that, I just am used to operating and stuff. But I would definitely say that a lot of nail techs and even cosmetologists, barbers, just in the beauty industry, period, we are so concerned about our money because if we don't work, we don't eat type situation. And so I try to get people to understand, if you set your schedule and you let your clients or clientele see that these are your boundaries, you're not staying late, you're not coming, or you're charging, just like if you worked overtime at work, you would get a night differential, like all those things, it starts to make more sense, right? But for me, everything stops for my kids. Now it's more of I'll do a sessions are every 8 weeks. So every 8 weeks I'll do a session, take a 2-week break, nothing but my kids, and then start another class session. But it's just me prioritizing family first.
So how do you, we're getting a lot of questions in about, so how do you then stop from, how about you, Kendra? How do you stop? How do you balance your time?
So my personality type, I am very linear in a way. So my schedule is, everything is broken down. Y'all gonna laugh at me, but by the hour.
Oh, wow.
And I use, yeah, like I'm that person. So if you look at my calendar in my phone, it's from 7 a.m. really. And I try to stop by 8 p.m. Some days I'll go over, but really I don't. But everything's broken down.
Yeah.
And when I say broken down, it will be reply to this email, do
Mm-hmm.
this,
Mm-hmm.
inventory. So everything's very, everything's scheduled. I utilize my calendar like crazy. And then what I do at the end of each day in the evening, I'll go through my list, and whatever I haven't checked off or whatever is partially done, then I move that to the top of the list or try to fit it into the next day. But I stick to my schedule. And another thing to piggyback off of London is setting boundaries. I set boundaries as far as I used to just work 7 days a week. And then I was losing my mind. So then I said, you know what? No, we're going to do business hours Monday through Friday. Weekends are mine. I'm not responding to emails. And because during the week, sometimes I will work really late. What I like to utilize is the schedule send function with emails, because if I'm typing an email at midnight responding to somebody, I'll schedule it for 8 or 8:30 in the morning. So that way they get it, and it kind of gets the ball rolling on things for the next day as well. So that's a really good thing to use. But on weekends, I won't do any like Janet and Joe related work. I'm not responding to emails, because your boundaries are only as good as if you respect them. People won't respect your boundaries if you don't. So I'm the queen of ignoring things if it's outside of my window. And then over time, people be like, okay, I know not to, she's not going to respond. I'll tell you once, and then I'm just going to show you after that.
No, I think it's important, because as you think about that email schedule, I use it too.
Oh,
Because I used to be sending emails at like 11. I'm like, that's not hopeful. Somebody see my email at 11. It's not helping them set boundaries or me. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. And the calendar, keeping those boundaries. Let me ask you this. We have a number, I can see y'all, we have a number of high school students and college students watching today, you too. So shout out to all of you starting school. It's great. But what advice do you give to them as if they want to be entrepreneurs? They may be watching because they want to see how you shifted your careers and how you did that. So London, what advice would you give? And Kendra, I'm giving you a chance to think about it. I saw you looking up. What do you think about it?
I say just do it. Like, shut out your naysayers, shut out all the people that you think is supposed to be there that are going to be dependable, and just buckle down and do it. Starting out, I didn't have a village. I didn't have a support system. My support system was my child's father, and he was injured. So I was doing it all on my own. It's just more of having that faith in yourself. Even you're going to still, I don't know, I call it the entrepreneur's woe. I'm 5 years in, and you still have that fear of, oh my God, what if? Even if you got everything, you know how to do it, you know what's to be done, it's still something in you that says, oh, I can go, well, in me that says I can go a little bit harder, or I can offer a little bit more, or what else could I be doing, to get it there. Or it's like, girl, you know how to do this, like, chill out, okay, relax, like, it's okay type situation. But honestly, just do it. I started my business without a business plan, without a degree, without a background in marketing. I literally went from nurse to business owner in about 30 days. Okay. So honestly, it's nothing that I can definitely say as to, oh, you buckle down, you do this, you do that. Yes, that is a way to do it. I'm not taking that from anyone, but I'm not that person. I'm going to put my foot in the door, and I'm going to keep on digging in the dirt until I figure it out. And then once I figure it out, I learn, and this is what I'm going to teach someone else, because my way of doing it might not be someone else's way of doing it,
Yeah.
But I'm not going to knock how they did it, but I will say, do it.
Yeah. Yep. So I agree with you. And what you said is you didn't have a mentor starting out, but you are a mentor to many others. And so, that's a good lesson for folks to think about. Kendra, how about you? What would you, college graduates or high schools that are watching, what advice are you giving them on that want to become entrepreneurs?
So when I looked up, I was thinking, what would I tell my 17 or 18-year-old self? And it literally
I can see you.
It is just do it, to be honest with you. And that was actually the biggest piece of advice that I got to help me finally jump into it. I was talking with the founder of Black and Green. It's an online website, and they sell clean Black-owned products. And I was telling her, I'm starting a company, and she said, just do it, because there's never going to be a perfect time. For
That's
me,
right.
it was different iterations of my packaging design, of my bottle, of, I hated oh my gosh, if you guys could have seen my first website, I'm constantly changing my website, and I'm in my, so my traditional packaging, I'm in my 5th iteration of the design. And then I have other ones as well. Saying that to say, you can always change, you can always rebrand, you can always repackage, you can always tweak things. Just get started. And I would be open and welcome mistakes. I'm not afraid of making a mistake. I'm actually afraid when things are smooth, because to me, it's uncomfortable. I'm just like, okay, something's not right. Why is nothing going wrong right now? Because I should be learning. And so if you're not learning, then I feel like you're in well, for me, let me not say you, but I'm in a constant state at that point. And I like to challenge myself. So I'm always welcoming a mistake. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. And there's no such thing as the stars aligning and there being a perfect moment. The perfect moment is when you do it. You can always change it. You can always change it.
No, I agree. That's right. And do it, right? Those people, most of the time you have to iterate, right? You're going to change it up, to your point. I love it. So what does keep you going? And what you every day hasn't been sunny. Nails aren't always pretty like they are today. But so what keeps you both going? What keeps you both motivated and staying with what you started? When you have those failures, you're going to have those bumps. You're going to have to keep going. What keeps you going, London? And
I would definitely say, I think the saying money doesn't buy happiness is definitely true. What keeps me going is not so much of the money that is being made, because it feels good, to make money, do what you want to do. Yes, but it is the freedom that I have to do as I please while helping others. That's what really keeps me going, which is why, like, sometimes
freedom. That's a beautiful, beautiful word.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing to wake up and say, I don't feel like doing anything today, but I still got money. It's not the pressures, and then also really just being able to be relatable to my community and to my target market, for them to really get to see, Ms. London is just a regular, schmegular, regular person. But yes, my not attributes, my success speaks to where I've achieved, right? No problem. But walking down the street, if you don't know who I am, you would never know that I have achieved what I have achieved. And I think that that's great for me, because I never let the success go to my head. I never let the money go to my head. I never let those things. I'm always willing to say, hey, look, this is it. I got my freedom to wake up, not go, that's what keeps me going, honestly. Yeah.
See, you better start some people amen, and you better start some entrepreneurs, a whole host of people choosing freedom. How about you, Kendra? What
I love keeps me going. Like I'm like, this is my obsession. It really is. If anybody that knows me, especially prior to starting Janet and Joe, I literally was painting my nails like 2 times a day to go with whatever I wore in my mood. So it was just like, it's like, if you like food and you watch the Food Network and you see those people eating at restaurants, you're like, that's a cool job. I would love to eat all day and travel. This is my thing. So me playing in polish, finding new colors, that's what I do in my spare time. So now that this is my business, even though it's work, it's not work for me. Like, I love this. This is what I would do for free. I love this. So for me,
it's tell them that it does cost.
I won't do it for free though. I have a price tag.
You have a price to be paid.
It's really, it makes me happy. And then, it's just, it's really fulfilling to do what you love. Like London says, when you wake up in the morning, I'm not like, oh, I got to respond to this email, or, oh, I got to do inventory. It's just like, I got to do this to keep pushing this, because this is my baby right here. I love this. And yes, there's the freedom. And also I have a lot of moments of gratitude, because I go back and I was big on, not a vision board, but I have like it's like a big cardboard thing. And I wrote out my goals, and I go back and I look at it and reflect. And it's like, wow, I'm really living my dream life. And people think your dream life is in a palace and all this great stuff, but it's not. My dream life was to have my own polish company, to do what I want to do and just be free. And I'm just happy, and it keeps me going because I want to continue to do this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Beautifully stated and so inspiring, both of you. Let me ask you this because you all are on the rise. And I tell everyone, you're watching two women, their journey, their best days are ahead of them. And so what's your vision? What's been your greatest accomplishment thus far? But we'll also like add into that, like, what's your vision for scaling? What's next for you all? London?
Yeah, I'll say, so my greatest accomplishment is being able to provide free tuition. Like, do you know how major that is to be like,
I'm a kid of scholarship, so I know what that means.
Exactly. So honestly, it was being able to break every barrier that they could possibly complain about. You need childcare, we got childcare. You can't afford it, tuition is free. Like, that was major to me, you know? And so knowing that my school was the first and only nail tech school to be able to do that, and like we worked so hard and I fought so hard for it to show statistically that it is money in this industry. It's just that a lot of beauticians and cosmetologists and nail techs, we don't, structure our money correctly. And so therefore, and not structuring it correctly, what happens? We sit here and we take a loss every year on our taxes because we don't want to pay Uncle Sam or we don't want to do this. And so even though we know we're making money, the state doesn't see it as a lucrative career, right? But because I had my academy and my salon way before I opened up my school, I was able to show, no, look, I got this many girls licensed. I've done this many apprenticeships. I've had this many techs that are actually flourishing and making six figures from strictly nails. So for me, I think that, that's major. That's absolutely major.
Absolutely. I think being able to offer free tuition, like you said, significant. I mean, significant accomplishment, and being able to show the growth of your business. And I think as you continue over time, I mean, if I had millions, I'm gonna claim that for me too. I would give y'all
not
millions.
If when you get
it. Love you for it. Love you for you. Love it. I love it. So how about you, Kendra? What's been your greatest accomplishment thus far, and what's the vision for the future?
It's crazy because on my vision board, I wrote, I wanted to be in a magazine, right? Published. And that happened. And I thought
I named 15 magazines you've been in.
And I'm right. And that was the crazy thing. When I looked at my vision board, I really cried because it was like, I had the bar low, but it wasn't. It was just, that's what I wanted. But to be honest, that my biggest accomplishment, I thought that would have been it, but it wasn't monetary. It was our partnership with the American Cancer Society. And that was a partnership where last fall, October Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we donated 50% of the cells from a trio to the American Cancer Society. But that really
beautiful.
Yeah, that for me was huge because so half the company's namesake, my grandmother Jo, she passed away from breast cancer, and my mother was a 3-time breast cancer survivor. So that's something that I've been very passionate about. And, even when it comes to like clean beauty education, that's something that hits home for me. So when this started to come into works and I was communicating with the American Cancer Society, when it finally got finalized, I was just like, oh my goodness, like it's being able to give back in something, it's just greater than you. Yeah. And that's really what fills me up. And I don't think anything could ever top just being able to give back in that manner.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think both of you, and I know everyone's probably like, she fangirling over there. I'm fangirling because both of them, they just have such beautiful souls. They do great work, and they're in our community. And that always makes me proud. Y'all are like the heroes of our time, creating great businesses that do well and do good. Because they aren't exclusive. Beautiful statements. So let me ask you this. I know behind every great woman is an amazing team. So do you have teams, and that may not be employees, it might be just the team, the roster. And what are and how did you build your teams? Because it's so critically important. The composition of the team, critical. every single time. So London, how about you? How do you build your team?
My mom made me. Like my mom made
Your mom.
me.
Hey, moms, shout out to moms. Moms are
She did. She made me. She was like, you are running yourself ragged, you know? And so ironically, my mom is the director of my school. And so I was just delegating everything I didn't want to do off to her, right? Like, this ain't it. This is not my field. This is not my realm. We're going to start hiring some people. And so I was like so hesitant and against it. And I was like, no, mom, no, this is no. But I did it and I'm happy. Like, oh my God, I love it. I got 2 assistants, you know, like this works for me. But I will definitely say you do need a team, because my dad always would say growing up, if you make X amount of dollars, or it takes this amount of money and you can make what you would normally make, but you can hire someone else to do it, right? And so I was like, okay, whatever. Now that I'm older and I do have a company, I say, okay, I don't feel like cleaning up my house. Let me hire a housekeeper, because I can be at work, you know, making money and stuff like that. Right. So I would definitely say a team is very important, but it was my mom that made me get one. Now that I have one, I don't never want to let it go. You know, I really don't. But I do think that not only that, being able to bounce things off, you know, creatively, being able to sit down and talk, like even with my substitute teachers and stuff, and me telling them, look, you guys, this is my expectations for what's coming up as far as this. And then they go back and they're teaching and they're like, oh, I switched up what you said, Ms. London, and the class really gravitated to it, you know? So I would definitely say that a team is super, super important just for your mental health, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You delegating everything to your mom and you don't want to do. That's so funny. It's very funny. But don't do that. Don't do that. You might keep your family happy, but no, agreed. You have to build a team, and everything is not the best use of your time at every moment. And I learned that as a lawyer. I used to be like, I can make copies. I can do this. Not the best use of your time.
Yep.
You can't charge a client for that. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's a great lesson. Many of our entrepreneurs have talked about that transition in their journey. So Kendra, how about you? How did you build your team?
I have been blessed with great friends. 3 in particular, because when Joe was getting started, I mentioned that we did the beauty trade show, and they had, who was it, like 5,000 registrants. And I'm just like, okay, I can't run this booth alone. And so I had my friends, they knew this was something I was passionate about. And they saw me grinding for 2.5 years, you know, with all the work behind the scenes just to get this to the start line, right? So when it had the makeup show, I said, well, I can't afford to pay y'all. I could buy you lunch. And my 2 best friends, they said, girl, don't even worry. And they came and they, you know, they're there and we have our booth and we're selling the product and we're telling the company's story. But it was important because they know me so well. These are friends I've had for over 10 years. So my story wasn't something they had to learn. They knew it and they could naturally tell it in their own ways and experience. And so if you are able to if you have friends that are willing, or they see your passion, hopefully they'll be able to support you, because that support I received from them, I'm forever like grateful for it, because I wouldn't have anything if they weren't there. When we did events in Chicago, they flew out there with me. I couldn't buy their plane ticket. I couldn't pay for their hotel. So it's just that support it really does take a village, and be it a village of 3 or 4 people, you can get the job done. And so that's how we started. Now I have someone that works part-time and she helps me with press, marketing, social media. She helps me with a lot of things. And I have a friend of mine who also works part-time and he helps me with inventory fulfillment. So it's a lot of work, but I will manage my time wisely. That's key. Like time is money, and it's also peace. So even if you can't be making money,
time is peace. That's a whole quote. Somebody put that down. Somebody in the background.
Time is peace. For tomorrow.
Somebody t-shirt tomorrow. But we said it here first. No, I think you both put some really fine points. Building that team, it is people who buy into the vision.
Yes.
And many times they might be related to you by blood or related to you in sometimes a more powerful way through friendship. And so beautifully stating trust and being able to hand stuff off and know it's getting done. Beautifully well said. So let me ask you this question before I get to my COVID question, which is, we confirmed that that Oprah, number of other investors are watching. So we are very excited about that today. So what advice do you give for individuals who are investors at different levels, right? So individuals that could fund your businesses completely. And those of us who are consumers, right? Who can consume and funnel in different ways. What advice would you give to us on how we can ensure that businesses like yours not only exist, but thrive in our community and grow and scale? So what advice you give us, London? What would you say to us?
I would definitely say that you have to find your niche, just like how there are so many bread companies and so many deodorant companies, like all these things, right? But someone goes and picks up potato bread over white bread. Why? Someone gets wheat bread over rye bread. Why? Right? And so the same way you have to do with whatever you want to break out into as well. And so for me, I would say that if you know you got an investor looking to invest in toilet tissue, why are you wasting your time on the toilet tissue investing? That's not your thing, right? But if you know that you have created something substantially that works for you, you don't sit there and pitch it to everyone. You sit here, you set up your meeting, you talk to that person, you do a little, what is that called? Blind marketing. You do a little bit of that and then take those statistics to them. A person can talk all day long, but if you don't have the gift of gab, you're not going to close the deal, okay? But you can have the gift of gab and no real product, but be able to win them over. So personally, I say break your niche. Find what your niche is. My niche back then, no education, no black nail tech. Hey, here I am, and that honestly is what helped me bring me to where I am today.
And so businesses like yours, we're sitting here, I'm not Oprah. One day she's gonna watch this show and she's really gonna invest in me. But no, we're but really seeing what your niche is. What do you want to invest in? How are you gonna, and what products are you wanting to buy? And then choosing to buy them from folks in our community. Beautifully said. Kendra, how about you? What would you say? Oprah, a number of different investors. We got Alicia's watching. So how can we support businesses like yours?
Even if it wasn't with capital, definitely with resources as far as education and just really connecting you to the right people as far as attaining your goals. So for me, if you are an investor and you ask me what my goals are, I want to be in a national retailer. And I also want to be in a retailer in the UK because we have a lot of interest in the UK and shipping is just a struggle. If you have experience with international shipping, if you have someone that works in brand buying, merchandising, even setting up a meeting, an informational meeting where I'm just getting the gems and the tools that I need to get me where I want to be, that's helpful. So capital can come in many forms, right? It's not just about dollars, but I think that's important, is understanding the needs of the company or the entrepreneur and how you can meet those needs or align them with somebody that that can meet those needs. And for me, I'm big on when I look at other stores that I'd like to have Janet and Joe in, making sure that are realigned, because I'm about education and clean beauty. So it was an opportunity at a cigar bar one day, and they was like, oh, maybe you can sell your polishes here. And I was just like, I don't think that's a good match. So just not every opportunity is the opportunity for you. And I think that's also the same with investors, because your portfolio may not have anything to do with beauty and you just see it as a lucrative industry, but how are you really going to support my business? How are you going to promote and market my business? Throwing dollars at somebody without knowing how to use those dollars is not helpful. So I think it's very important to provide guidance when you also provide capital.
You said something just so beautifully. Another plug for the 10KSB business program. So hopefully both we're gonna make sure both of you.
It's in my notes, okay?
Yeah, now you're coming in to the network. But you said something we've heard last week, which was the capital without the understanding of how to deploy it actually can be worse to me than just the money, right? So really, you talked about, and I'm already thinking about, I have somebody to connect you with that does international shipping, but thinking about who can, because you don't solve all problems with money, we solve every problem with relationships. And so you are just pointing that out for the entrepreneurs, but also the investors, that the investment is far beyond, I think, London, you said it well, far beyond the money, far beyond that, just the relationship and your knowledge base, sharing that across, beautifully said, and I think really what. Someone asked this question a couple of times. Can you talk about what clean beauty is and why it's important? What's clean beauty?
So clean beauty is really, I had no idea prior to starting Janet and Joe that nail polishes contain toxins that are linked to cancer. And so when I learned that, I was just on a mission to start a nail polish company. And so when I learned that, I started doing more and more research and digging back and peeling back the layers. And I said, okay, I need to spread awareness of that, but also have a product that does not contain those toxins. Because going back to my personal story of my mother and my grandmother, I didn't want something that contributed to cancer. And so when we think about what we eat, right? People eat organic possibly, or you may not eat meat, but you think about what you put on your body because your skin absorbs it, right? Yeah. The same thing comes with nail polish. You want to be mindful of the chemicals and toxins in the products that you use. It's more than just fragrances and things that you could be allergic to. There are reproductive issues that are linked to products in nail polishes that people aren't aware of. There are some products that are linked to birth defects. I have asthma. I've struggled with asthma my entire life. So when you speak about clean beauty, it's very important to be mindful of the ingredients and the products that you use. And even if you go on our website, we have some information, but even if it's lipstick or mascara, just being mindful, it's key.
Beautifully. I mean, I think, you don't think about like everything that is on your body is absorbed in your body, and really great point. Let me ask this question and then we're going to get to the COVID question. I want to make sure people know how to get in contact with you. So London, how do we get in contact with you, support your school, get folks signed up for your school? So give us your .coms and your ads. Come on, give us all of them.
Gotcha. So the best way is to go to my social media, Instagram @snobnails, email snobbishnails@gmail.com to register or sign up, or go to the school website directly, which is snobnailstechnicianschool.com.
Excellent. How about Kendra? How do we get in contact with you?
On Instagram, we are at Janet and Joe, J-O, no E at the end. And then our website is janetandjoe.com. It's also on our bottles, our packaging. I'm gonna do a shameless plug right now, y'all.
Hold on. Oh, sorry. We're not gonna get to the COVID question. Y'all both fared well during COVID.
Yeah, actually 2020, believe it or not, was great for me.
Yeah, good. I ain't got no complaints.
No complaints. Yeah, let me let Kendra show us some of your nail lacquers. I promised to do that, and I got so
this is outside the packaging. This is what our bottles look like, and
beautiful.
When you open the packaging, you'll notice that the words Janet and Joe are facing you, because I wanted to like kind of have an introduction of hello when you open it. So that's why the words are facing you when you open it. But we have a lot of colors. We actually have gels that are releasing very soon. And this is from the Queen collection, which I dedicated to my mother. She passed 9 days after I launched the company in 2019. And so this red special box, thank you. This is called Courage. And it's a deep red because red was her favorite color. And she asked that we bury her in this red, but Courage, because she battled cancer and faced it courageously. She had it's called a glioblastoma, which is a blastoma, excuse me, but it's a very aggressive, rare form of brain cancer. And so that was ultimately what she succumbed to in 2019. So I released this in dedication to her. So that's what the red box is for. But the rest of our boxes are all traditional whites. I hope the lighting's not throwing us off.
No, it's good. It's good. No, we're gonna go on. I'm gonna definitely get the gel because I can't do the others because I too many typing. But beautiful pieces, and we're all gonna buy from you. Let me say this, London and Kendra, it has been an extreme pleasure to interview you today. We just pray you all just continue to succeed and continue to grow your businesses. We will be watching. But more importantly, we'll be buying and supporting. So thank you. Let me wrap us up. Let me give a couple of things and then get us off. So we will return next week with two companies in the construction space, Hank Cunningham, the Cunningham Consulting Group, and Brandon Johnson with Consider It Done. I love that name. Consider It Done, full service construction. Please follow us on JH Connects on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, email feedback, jhconnects@jhu.edu. Thank you to our partners, Johns Hopkins University, Johns Hopkins Health System, the Mayor's Office of Small Minority Owned Business, the Warnock Foundation, Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business, and Bloomberg Philanthropies. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you, London. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
For having us.